Every time a new expansion drops, it's the same cycle. Everyone's hyped, you're grinding like crazy for a few weeks, and then burnout hits. You're done. You're waiting for the next big thing that might never come, but Blizzard's flipping the script this time. Instead of one giant dump of content, they're rolling it out slowly, little pieces of gameplay, events, and systems that almost feel like a season pass. It's a huge risk, but it's also making me wonder if this might actually be the smartest move Blizzard's ever made. So it's time to be real on what's working here and what isn't, and why this slower, more seasonal World of Warcraft might be exactly what the game and we as players need to finally break that burnout cycle. Now, in the past, every new major patch or season would drop everything at once. You got Mythic Plus, the new raid, PvP season, new events, all of it dumped on us in one shot, and you do your best to grind it all as fast as possible just to stay relevant. And if you didn't, you would always feel like you're falling behind. I mean, you remember those days, everyone's no-lifing Mythic Plus, smashing through rage, trying to gear up in every possible way, and then, just a couple weeks later, half of the guild is burned out, everyone's exhausted, and it feels like World of Warcraft has become like a second job you have to keep up with. That's kind of how the burnout starts, and honestly, it's a terrible way to design an MMORPG. When patches force you to treat the game like a job, it kills the fun and drives people away instantly. But now, it feels like Blizzard's finally letting us slow down. It's like they're saying, hey, it's okay, you could play at your own pace, and you're not gonna be left behind. And that's a relief mentally. You've got way more time to enjoy each piece of content without feeling like you're missing out. There's room to breathe, to actually savor the new stuff. For casual players, it's a game changer. You're not left in the dust if you're not logging in every day. It's like the game's finally telling us that we're okay and we're part of this, even if you're not a sweaty degenerate playing 6 hours a day like we used to. For me, the biggest win, though, is that there's always something around the corner to look forward to. There's a little update that makes it feel fresh. Weekend after weekend and month after month. Even if you're not playing as hard as you used to, there's always some small piece of content giving you a reason to log back in. One week, it's a new event in Hollowfall. Then a few weeks later, it's Horrific Visions. A couple weeks later after that, it's Dastardly Duos. And before you know it, you're straight into another major patch with brand new content to rinse and repeat this process. This constant flow and these steady drips of new stuff keep me logging in way more often, and for the first time in years, I don't feel burnt out playing WoW. To be completely honest with you guys, this might be the most alive WoW has felt to me in a very, very long time, and the player base retention is all here for it. When it comes to games, it's hard to keep someone on one game nowadays. Every other week, there's a brand new major release on a console or PC that looks amazing, and people want to try everything. So World of Warcraft has ended up feeling almost like a seasonal game for a lot of people. You log in, you go hard for a few weeks, and then you bounce until the next expansion or major patch. But Blizzard's shifting their entire philosophy now. They're not just trying to cram everything in one patch and hope it keeps everyone around for months. Instead, they're trying to keep us around longer by doing something actually very simple. You release content consistently, you don't front load everything at once, and you build a steady flow of updates that feel like there's always something fresh around the corner, so you've got a reason to log in every week. It's not just one crazy patch day, and to be quite frank, it's working better than I expected. It's giving the game room to breathe, and it's making me feel like there's always something to come back for. And I think that's the real magic here. It's not that the game is suddenly, perfect, because it's not, but it feels like Blizzard's finally giving us a version of World of Warcraft that respects our time and wants us to enjoy any and all forms of content active in the game currently. For an MMO that's been around for 2 decades, it's probably why for the first time in a long time, I'm excited to log in every day instead of honestly trying to just burn through a checklist to keep up. Currently, it's not just about adding more content or flashy new borrowed power systems that go away after a month. It's about reshaping how we as players think about playing the game. I remember back then feeling so damn stressed if I missed just a week or even 2, where it felt like I would always be too far behind to ever catch up, and it really discouraged the crap out of me to continue playing. So I'd just leave, I would go play a different casual game and find something else to de-stress rather than me playing WoW and it feeling like a job. Now I can step in whenever I want and still feel like I'm part of the loop. My friends and guildmates are playing for a significantly longer duration. Our guild has like 40 to 50 people on every single night, and whether you're a casual or someone who really takes things hardcore, you're always at your own pace, and that's what makes this whole scene and the livelihood of WoW feel more alive to me than ever, where statistically, right now, it's supposed to be the most dead time of an entire expansion, where we're at the smack middle point of the middle patch. So this new approach, as good as it feels in a lot of ways, though, it isn't exactly perfect, because if you're going to roll out content, you know, bit by bit, this content has to be polished when it finally lands. And right now, that's not always the case. The first real test of this new content cadence was, of course, the 11.1.5 Nightfall patch. They rolled it out in pieces where you would get Nightfall first, then 4 weeks later, you would get Horrific Visions, and then a couple weeks after that, you get the Dastardly Duos. Now, on paper, that staggered release scared a lot of people, but in practice, it did a lot of good for the game. That is until Nightfall dropped. Nightfall was supposed to be the big highlight of the patch, but the launch, it was pretty laggy. I remember logging in with friends, all of us are pretty hyped, and then within minutes, the servers were kind of cooked. The event itself was okay, and there were some cool cosmetics, a 10-level renown track, and it was all cool, but the lag and the stuttering and the breaking of the event, it killed the vibe almost instantly. And it's a huge letdown when the, you know, first major event of a patch drops and it doesn't work properly. So Blizzard, they cleaned it up after a couple days, but by then, the initial excitement was already gone for a lot of people. Now, honestly, it feels like there are two completely different teams working on these patches at times. The 0.0 patches, the patches that are the major releases, they always feel very polished. But then you hit the 0.5 patches, which is the middle point, and it's like the quality drops off pretty significantly. The anniversary event last year was another perfect example where there was bugs everywhere, weird design issues, and it just felt like it was thrown together at the last second. And here's the thing though, if you're gonna drip feed the content like this, if you're gonna make it slower paced, it can't feel rushed or broken. Otherwise, it completely undermines the whole point of giving players a reason to log in every couple of weeks. You're setting them up to be excited, and then they immediately get let down when things aren't working properly. I'm not saying Blizzard has to be flawless here. No game is flawless. But when you're telling players to show up for new events, they gotta work properly. If it's buggy or half-baked, all it does is make people question whether this whole seasonal approach is even the right move, and if it's even worth it in the first place. Another example was 4 weeks after the Nightfall, we got Horrific Visions, and right away players noticed some issues. The first one is, if you wanted to earn the cosmetics, Blizzard tied them to an achievement that was time-gated by the Horrific Visions talent tree. So you had to wait a minimum of 3 weeks to finish it, and the forums blew up, Twitter exploded, and to their credit, Blizzard fixed it within 24 hours, which was great, but still, the fact that it launched like that says a lot. And even now, there's still the problem that the talent tree itself is still time-gated, and you could only get so many points per week, which means if you're a casual, or you're not super experienced, or not that great at the game, you're going to feel way too weak and fragile inside of Horrific Visions, and it's not going to be a fun little grind. It's not going to be a cool event. It's just going to be frustrating, and people are going to bounce before they even get to enjoy the full experience. So I'm going to be honest, I'm on the side that thinks it's kind of fun. It just needs to be fully available right away. Drip feeding an already drip-fed, time-gated content just kills the excitement before it even starts. It turns what should be a lot of fun, you know, an alt-friendly piece of content, into a chore, and by the time people are actually able to play it properly, they're gonna be checked out. Now, I want to be super clear here. Once again, I still think Blizzard is doing a lot of things right. This slower drip content cadence, for me personally, it makes the game way more manageable, way more fun for players who don't want to burn out, and it's really good for alts. It's amazing for progression. It keeps the game fresh, and it always gives you something to look forward to every other week. But when the content they're giving us is either half-baked, buggy, or just flat out broken, it's a problem, and they are aware of something like that. And then lastly, they were going to release the Dastardly Duos bit of content near the end of the patch, which, being completely upfront, this isn't a great game mode. There's little to no rewards being tied to it. It's like okay when it comes to levels of fun, but there are no real rewards. There's no really cool titles or major cosmetics tied to it, so why wait over 6 weeks to release this? Why not just release it either in between Horrific Visions and Nightfall, or just up front? We just gotta remember, ladies and gentlemen, people who aren't actively playing WoW They are dying to find a reason to crap on the game. They're always going to say something like, oh, it's a mobile game now, one-button rotations, the lore is so childish, we want big sweaty men, all that crap. But they're going to look for any excuse to pile on the game. And that includes people who don't even understand what's actually going on in the lore, in the game itself, or even aware of how many wins Blizzard has honestly been stacking up month in and month out over and over again. So the question is this style of content release actually working? Well, even with the bugs, the delays, with the stuff that didn't quite land perfectly, Blizzard's risk here is actually paying off. If you look at some of the data when it comes to World of Warcraft and holding more players now, it held more than it did in Dragonflight at the same exact point. And what's even crazier is that Dragonflight Season 2 launched with significantly more players, and by this point in the War Within, we have about a 20% increase in participation rate for Mythic Plus and then certain content overall. Remember, this isn't just some random data, because this is the new approach of faster content release, more consistent updates and things to always look forward to, and it's working better than probably anyone would have thought, definitely including my own. The community is still popping off. Friends and guildmates are still around. The game doesn't feel like something you have to grind anymore. It feels like something you can just casually enjoy. It's not perfect, though. I'm not going to pretend it is. There's a lot of things Blizzard needs to improve on, but overall, this more, slow-paced, consistent flow of updates is the smartest thing they've done in years, and it's letting people play at their own pace. I love that they give us reasons to log in every week, and it makes WoW, to me personally, feel alive. And that's part of the real magic for me. This is the first time in a long time where I'm not stressed playing retail WoW when it comes to falling behind with all these systems and things that complicate me, and it stresses the crap out of me normally, but it's just a video game I can casually enjoy, but still progress as far as I want. You tie all of that together with Mythic Plus getting greatly improved over the last couple months. The alternate character progression is really, really fast. It's probably the best it's ever been. There's a ton of catch-up mechanics and systems to dive into, tons of reputations to grind, and cosmetics and renowns to check out if you want to, solo challenges and content to play completely on your own. Things from a game design standpoint feel very full, yet it's not overbearing or stressful. There's just options and different roads to go down if you want to. Now, listen, retail, while it is imperfect, it does have some issues, but this new approach overall feels very right, and it fits the modern game design of what an MMO should be. It gives us room to breathe. It lets us enjoy the game at your own pace, and for the first time in years, it feels like WoW's moving in a direction that respects everyone's time, your life, your IRL, and the fact that we're all doing it and we're a little bit older now and busier now. I mean, it just makes sense. I've never felt more excited to log in and see what's new, not because I have to, but because I really want to. And to me, that is the real victory here, man. So let me know what you guys think about it in the comments. Are you enjoying the new seasonal flow? Are you loving everything going on right now? Are you hating it? Do you feel burnt out? You gotta let me know about it. I'm dying to hear your thoughts. Either way, I'll be reading every single comment. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, watching the video. One last note we wanted to make: if you're looking for a guild or people to progress through Mythic Plus with or raid with next season, the Comeback Kids are recruiting, and any and all players are welcome to come on down, play with us. We're looking to fill out some new members for the raid. Oh my god, we fucking did it. Oh my god, let's fucking go, bro. Let's fucking go. That's how that shit gets done. If you're on the Horde, you can simply just go to the guild tab and search up the Comeback Kids, and we should pop up. Make sure you do have the guild size on any so you can actually see us. Either way though, if it doesn't work, you just use the Discord link in the comment section below, hop in there and verify, get yourself in, and then we can get you invited by you posting your name and server under the guild invite tab. Hey guys, if you're enjoying the content and want to stay up to date on everything World of Warcraft, consider hitting that subscribe button and check out these videos here if you're really hungry for more. We also stream our live show every Wednesday night right here on YouTube and Twitch. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.